Okay, I guess we'll go ahead and call to order the regular planning, or regular scheduled Plan and Zoning Commission meeting for Tuesday, July 8th, 2025, and we'll start. Can't speak tonight, thank you. With roll call.
Chairman Dana Hennis,
Present, I think.
Commissioner Brian Clark,
Present.
Commissioner Jeannie Greger,
Present.
Commissioner Jim Main,
Present.
Commissioner Bobby Rossadillo.
Present.
Thank you. First up on the agenda is the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, move that we move items B2 and B3 from the consent agenda and push them to business items.
Okay, do I have a second on
I'll
that?
second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We'll move those to the end of the list tonight. How about the remaining case number 24-07-AN?
Mr. Chairman, move that we approve the consent agenda accepting items B2 and B3.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, and I know staff has recommended that we can move case number, or item B in the public hearings to the first position tonight.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we move item B, case numbers 22-10ZC, 2217S, and 22-38DR for Season Creek to first in the agenda this evening.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. So with that, I will move to that first case, number 22-10-ZC, 22-17-S, and 22-38-DR for Seasons Creek to be heard first. Troy?
Good evening, members of the commission. For the record, Troy B. Hunan, Senior Planner, CUNA Development Services Department. So the applications before you this evening are requesting a rezone and a preliminary plat and design review for the Seasons Creek North subdivision. The applicant is also requesting the pre-plat to be approved in order to subdivide the 60.92 acres into 280 single-family lots with 60 common lots. One lot for a city lot for city utilities. The subject site is located on the east side of Black Cat Road and is just south of the Deer Flat alignment. The subject property is shown as medium-density residential on the city's future land use map, or the FLUME, as it's called, and the application appears to comply with the future land use map. Staff would like to take a moment and read a little bit of history about the property because it is very extensive. It actually is older than all of the staff that's here. So the site was annexed into the city on May 16, 2006, and it was the first application as part of a joining the local improvement district, also known as the LID, due to the moratorium that was on building and approving subdivisions at the time, and so they created the LID in order to help fund that because of the sewer serviceability. The project went before the City Council December 4th, 2007 as a 185-acre planned unit development, a rezone, and a preliminary plat, also including a development agreement. The application proposed a C2 zone for a portion of the site and also R6 for the remainder of the site. It included a pre-plat for 637 residential lots and 37 common lots, and one commercial lot to be subdivided further in the future. The council voted to approve the 4 applications, and the request was granted to the landowner. On June 23rd of 2008, the development agreement for this project was recorded with the county recorder's office. Sometime in 2011 or 2012, the owner at that time petitioned to be excused from the LID and its obligations, and the request was granted, and the LID status was removed. The recorded development agreement includes some project-specific information. On page 1, the DA states that the rezoned ordinance had already been adopted, as in past tense, and that it also amended the zoning ordinance as it was previously accomplished, as if it had been previously been accomplished. However, there is no record on file with the county recorder's office or our office that the rezone ordinance had actually taken place. In section 3.5, it states that construction shall commence within 365 days of the effective date of the development agreement. And in the event that it does not commence, the developer is in default of the agreement. However, the city nor the developer initiated the process to remove the DA and to find one another in default, so the development agreement remains intact. The rezone is also still in place as it was approved with R6 for the majority of the site and for a small portion C2, which is our commercial zone. Sometime between 2012 and 2020, the property was actually sold to the current developer, and the timeline is only estimated because the city does not monitor the sale of property. However, on August 30th, 2022, some 10 years later, the current developer submitted the applications that are before you this evening. 1 year later, at the commission meeting on August 22nd, 2023, the commission heard the presentation, and at the end of the meeting, the commission decided collectively that they tasked the applicant to make some changes to the site plan and then have the applicant redesign and return with an updated site plan. That's what the applicant has been doing since August of 2023. And also coordinating with ACHD and all of the other agencies that they have to coordinate with. The only real conditions, if you could call them that, the only thing on record shows that the applicant was to place some R4 style lots along Black Cat Road, and the rest of the property could be a R6 plat. It was discovered recently that the development agreement is in fact still in place, which does have the C2 zone, which does not agree with the proposal. So the applicant will need to go to the city council in the near future in order to modify the development agreement, because the future land use map, as it currently sits, does not allow for commercial where it was once approved. And so they'll have to go back to the city council and modify that. I'll be here for any questions. There's going to be several questions I'm sure that you'll have. The applicant has prepared a presentation for this evening, and at the conclusion of their presentation, staff would recommend that this application be tabled to a date uncertain in order to hold the public hearing.
It's quite a history.
That's just the high level.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and that probably took a bunch to figure out. I have one question before I ask if anybody else does. So when you said that the original plan was for 637 lots on the same 60.92 acres?
So actually, the application, it's now we're getting into a little bit of the weeds, but the original application included 185 total acres.
Okay.
And because of agency requirements by ACHD, it was decided that it would be best to be split into multiple subdivisions where could have a chance to take more bites at the apple and actually put more conditions on them, because it was such a large project and it was spec'd for a 20-year or a 12-year, 10-year, 12-year project with so many unknowns. Anyway, it was decided that they were going to do that. This represents about 1/3 of the
Okay.
overall Seasons Creek project. You'll notice that I did identify this as the Seasons Creek North.
Correct.
There will be a future Seasons Creek East and a Seasons Creek South. Separate applications, but part of the original development agreement. If you will, it'll be like some of the other master plan communities that we have here in town. I'm thinking you can probably think of one in the east, where there's multiple subdivisions within one project.
Correct. Okay, I just wanted that kind of clarification, because that was a lot more units than an R6 would handle in 60 acres, so.
That is correct. Yeah,
Okay.
that number was for 185 acres,
Okay,
but the application is only for 60.92.
correct. Okay, thank you. Is any other,
And the applicant will elaborate a little bit more in their presentation on that.
okay. Any more questions for staff at this time? Okay, so if the applicant would like to present, it's all you.
All right. Elizabeth Keckeritz, Gibbons Pursley, 601 Bannock, Boise, Idaho. I'm here on behalf of the applicant, Tim Eck. With me today is also Dave Crawford, who's been our engineer on all of this. So we're here in a little bit different stance than how we were originally anticipating on being here, once we realized there was still this C2 zoning where we have planned to have some homes. And so I'm going to start by talking, Troy did a really good job of walking through a lot of this, but we tried to put together some visuals. So I'm going to start with, nope. Do you have the other ones that I sent? We sent in some new slides after speaking with staff that show the comparison of the overall areas. Yep, this is it.
Give us just a second. Are you able to log in from there?
It says it was updated 5 days ago. It says it was modified 5 days ago.
hit the little arrow, collapses it instead. That'll help team viewers.
So what is the,
All right, and so what I'm good, Elizabeth Kekritz though, what I'm gonna start with is just the overall vision for both the 2008 DA compared to what the more recent vision is that then has since been divided into 3 lots, 3 larger subdivisions. So what was originally approved in 2008 was this larger development where this was all zoned R6. And then along the top here, it was zoned C2. This location right here is where originally Deer Flat was supposed to be extended. And so it would have made sense to have commercial along there. Deer Flat, in no world, it's my understanding, is Deer Flat ever going to be extended over the river? I believe that CUNA even wrote a letter to that effect saying this is not where we want it to go through. It's not extended over here on the, on the east side of the river. And so it just doesn't make sense now to have this area of C2 zoned property that's also just really not accessible from anywhere but through the subdivision. So there was the C2 area, and then this overall, this larger subdivision that was already been zoned R6. And so then you can see, I mean, it's hard to tell on something like this, but you can see it's also just a, it's a subdivision. There's on both, there's a lot of small lots. And so that's why it really became difficult for ACHD asked us if we could split this into 3 different tranches to bring them forward as each one was ready to be developed, rather than to bring this all forward at once, so that they could really consider each development on its own merits and make sure that it had the adequate traffic mitigation. So when you take what was previously approved, this is essentially how it's laid out. Here's that red area of C2. This area was originally not included, and then the rest of this blue is all zoned R6. The only real change between 2008, the only other change between 2008 and now is this area here was Tim Gordon's inholding, and it was not sold, the prior owner's inholding, it was not sold, and so in the prior picture here, let me go up one, it had lots on it, here it doesn't. The other big change is there is now park open space area up here, as well as we also still have this big, long, green open space park area here. But one of the big changes is that we entered into an agreement with the school district to provide, it's about a 10.5-acre school site to the school district after working with them about how they wanted the access. And so that is something that Mr. Eck will be looking at working with the school district for. As you know, he's been here with a couple where he's done a couple charter school lots. This one is looking more like it would be a public school lot eventually. So that's the zoning overlay over how we're anticipating it developing in the future. But obviously, single-family residential does not work in the C2 zone. And so we will be looking at, our rezone application will be amending it. But then here you can see, this is how it's now been broken out. So this is Season Creek North, then we have Season Creek South, and then Season Creek East. And so this is how ultimately the entire area will be proposed to be developed. What we'll be coming forward with in the future, once we come back with it, after we go through this DA modification, is the rezone for this area at the top, so that then we can develop this as the whole thing as single-family residential, which is what is supported on the flume. Then in 4 to 5 years, as conditions, market conditions permit, come in with the second phase, which does include that really large school lot. and then the third phase. And when we do come back, you'll see there is an arterial here that connects down to the collector through Madrone. So eventually, this really does a nice job of laying out the street network with the collectors and the local streets sort of throughout this area and can get you all the way down to Cuna Road. But that's what we have for you today. So that we are asking you to table this at this point in time. We will be back. We worked really hard to make all of the changes that you previously suggested, that you recommended. We do have the larger lots. We added a lot of connectivity. We did the things, but now we need to do one more thing before we come back. So with that, I'll stand for any questions.
Thank you. Is there any questions for the applicant at this point?
No, at this point.
All right.
Thank you, and thank you for all the work leading up to this, and that sneaks in on you. So with that, we're not going to be taking any public testimony tonight because of the proposed tabling. So I would stand for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, move that we table case numbers 22-10-ZC, 22-17-S, and 22-38-DR to a date uncertain.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. And we will look to see this in the future. Thank you. So that brings us back to the next item for under public hearings. That's case number 25-01-ZC, the rezone for Warner Buckner, City of Cuna. Marina?
Yes. Good evening, members of the commission. For the record, Marina Lundy, Planner, Cuna Development Services Department. The application before you this evening requests rezone approval for 3 parcels located at 700 North Meridian Road, which are approximately 75.86 acres and currently zoned agriculture. The site is located at the intersection of Meridian Road and Meadowview Road. The site plan available with the application materials is conceptual and subject to change. And if the rezone is approved, the applicant must return in the future for future land use approvals. Staff has reviewed the proposed rezone application for compliance with Cuna City Code, Idaho statutes, and the Cuna Comprehensive Plan, and should the council approve the application, staff recommends the applicant be subject to the proposed recommended conditions as outlined in the staff report. I'll be here for any questions that you have, and the True Grit applicant is not present tonight, but Jessica from Economic Development is here to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Is there any questions for staff or Jessica at this time?
Not at this time.
No? Okay, then I will go ahead and open up the public testimony at 6:23. And seeing nobody is on the list that is signed up, I will ask the audience, is there anybody here that did not get a chance to sign up that would like to testify on this application? If you would come up and put your name on for us. Then you'll have your chance to speak. And is there anybody else that also wants to testify on this application? Okay. If you would, when you take the podium, just go ahead and state your name and address for the record, for the transaction, so. Supposedly. You got it.
I've never done this before, so I have no idea what I'm doing, but I do live on Meadowview. 2955 Meadowview Road, and my name's Tina Townley. And I just had some questions on what kind of things have been drawn up for parking and sidewalks and possibly a light at Meadowview and Meridian Road. Because even right now, it's pretty treacherous at times. And I'm afraid that if, you get a whole bunch of people there, it's an accident waiting to happen. And Meadowview right now is 50 miles an hour. I would like it to come down to 35. I think that's a more appropriate speed for that area. So the things I'm really looking for is to make sure that there's ample parking so that our road does not become the parking lot. And possibly sidewalks. I don't know, that's pushing it, but it's a request, so. And then, of course, the speed slowing down and time requirements on noise.
Correct.
Okay. I think those are the only things that I had.
Okay, thank you. Is there any questions for her? Thank you. We have one more person signing up, so give her a second here. Then Jessica, are you fielding some of the return questions for the applicant? Okay.
Hello, I'm Lori Smazzi at 101 South Fusion. So I live in Indian Creek. I'm on the other side of where she is. And so some of my questions are very similar to hers. If you go into Meridian, the parking, when you go to the baseball complex there, right? People are parking on the street, parking in different areas. I worry about ensuring that people aren't going to start parking on East Cuna Road and then on Strobel, which are out that way. Just as East Cuna Road gets developed with the plans coming forward. Also, the concern about noise is similar. And then the roads in and out are another thing that I'm like concerned about in and out of the complex, knowing like, are they going to be on Meadowview? Are they going to be on East Cuna Road? Like, how are we going to get people in and out of that area? I don't know if there's been traffic pattern studies of the area of the safest way to get people. Before I moved to Cuna, I lived off of Eagle Road in a subdivision that is a traffic nightmare. It became the cut through for everything. So it's one of those things that I'm like, think that needs to be looked at, whether a traffic pattern study of what is the best way to get that traffic moved in and out of there safely, especially if you're going to have some of the stuff that I've seen. There's RV parking to get in and out, to ensure everyone's safety, not just the people coming, but also the residents who live in that area. So I would propose that they need to do a traffic study to figure that information out, just not randomly place those, and trying to use the foresight of the future road proposals in that area. So that's just my.
Thank you. Is there any questions for her? No. Okay, before I turn it over to staff, generally a project like this, just to kind of assure you, will come with a traffic study and much look at by that, but I'll let staff, or I don't know who's the best to answer a couple of those questions.
So the current site plan does show significant parking. Doug is pulling that up now. However, currently, it's only the rezone being proposed, and so when the applicant comes forward in the future with this site plan, it will likely be subject to a traffic impact study, and agencies like ACHD and ITD will have comment, and will have the opportunity to comment on the project.
Is there somewhere on the website where we can pull these up? I tried looking and I couldn't find anything.
Staff?
For the record, Doug Hanson, Planning and Zoning Staff. So if you just navigate to tonight's packet, on the page for this item, you'll see all application materials. That's a link. You can click it, and every single thing that's been submitted as a result of the application is viewable there.
When I was looking at it though, it didn't seem to look at the layout.
It's possible you could have missed it. So this is the conceptual site plan that's available within the application materials. That being Meridian Road and that being Meadowview. But like Marina alluded to earlier in her presentation, at this point, it's just conceptual. They're just requesting the zoning, so in the future, they'd be subject to a preliminary plat, traffic impact studies, design reviews, parking standards. They'd have to abide by city quiet hours, all of those things.
And I didn't quite see where you were talking, which one is Meridian and which one is Meadowview?
Meridian is gonna be to your
Meridian is
left,
here, and
Meadowview
Meadowview
is
is
at the
here.
top.
Okay, so it looks like a
So-
lot of it's gonna be along Meadowview.
Correct. I mean, this is just, like staff has stated, this is very conceptual. But yeah, from what I understand, most of the access is intended to be off of Meadowview. And I don't think it's going to actually connect to Cuna Road that I'm aware of. And yet, and this conceptual one does have a large amount of parking to be allotted to it, which has been nice. But it's very, very preliminary. That stuff will get expanded and we'll have additional city council as well as planning and zoning meetings to go over that as well, but.
Yeah, 'cause that's my huge concern is that road is kind of not developed very well and there's no
Right.
lines and I can just
We-
see people parking up and down there.
No, that's very true. So that will be adjusted in the future, so, or addressed in the future. But from what I understand, he's fully aware of, some of that, so that'll be looked at. But tonight is just.
One of the conditions in ACHD's report is very clearly, traffic impact study on Meadowview.
Correct.
So
Yeah, all that,
that's
that'll
in
come
the
around.
ACHD commentary.
And will they consider?
We can't take
like-
any more comment or questions, unfortunately. We have just a regulated public testimony. So just remember, there will be future meetings that have more specificity in the actual project itself. And the applicant will be there as well, hopefully, to answer those specific questions. So is there anybody else that did not get a chance to sign up that wants to testify in this application? Okay, and seeing no more, I will go ahead and close the public testimony at 6:32. Was there any additional staff or economic rebuttal or? Okay. Then I will go ahead and move to our deliberation. And just as a reminder, this is just for the zoning change. So project-specific information will be forthcoming down the road.
Yeah, I mean, as far as this is concerned, the location of the project, adjacent to Meridian Road is ideal. So from a zoning standpoint, I don't see a problem with it. Yeah, I mean, okay, let me correct myself. The impact of Meadowview is not gonna be insignificant, so I'll be very curious to see what the requirements are in the future. I'm hoping it gets a little bit bigger than a collector.
Yeah, no,
To this
definitely.
side.
I mean, yeah, there are very, very specific times it gets very crowded, but then on the most part, it isn't that way all the time, so that's the nice part, just Saturdays and Sundays, I imagine, are gonna be fun, but it's
Yeah.
something good for the kids that the community really needs, and we don't have enough ball fields and everything, especially as Cuna grows, so I think it's a good idea and a good project to pursue, so.
Especially with the hotel adjacent.
Yeah, and it'll take some time to work out all those little portions, so.
Yeah, I agree. I think the use for the land makes sense with where it's at.
So if there's no other questions or concerns, I would stand for a motion.
I'll make a motion to recommend approval of case number 25-01-ZC with conditions as outlined in the staff report.
Seconded?
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. And now we'll move to the business items. So first up on business item agenda is going to be case number 25-18-DR, design review for Athleta Townhomes.
Good evening, members of the commission. For the record, Marina Lundy, Planner, CUNA Development Services Department. The application before you this evening requests design review approval for the design of 57 new townhomes going into the approved Athleta subdivision at the intersection of North 10 Mile and West Crenshaw Street. Staff has reviewed the proposed design review application for compliance with CUNA City Code, Idaho statutes, and the CUNA Comprehensive Plan, and should the commission approve the application, staff recommends the applicant be subject to the proposed recommended conditions as outlined in the staff report. And I will be here for any questions that you have about the application.
Thank you. Any questions for staff at this time? No? And is the applicant present? And would like to present anything?
It does not appear so.
Okay. Thank you. So being this just a design review, it's not a public testimony item, so we can just move to our deliberation. This is something that we've already looked at as a preliminary plat. We just had not seen the actual townhouse review. We had already looked at the open space, the landscaping, et cetera. So this is primarily just for the elevations and the colors and materials for the townhouses. To me, it looks like they've got a good presentation, variant colors and textures, so I don't see a major issue with it, but I'm also an engineer and I'm pretty boring.
Well, the important thing to me, as mentioned, I would love to see CUNA not turn into a heat island. I really appreciate how much landscaping there is available. It's a good balance of roof area and green space. And honestly, I actually kind of like going into the third story, having opportunity to push the elevation. Very attractive elevations. I think we definitely need more of this type of product available.
Yeah, I agree. I think landscaping looks good, colors and materials look good.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, with that, I would stand for a motion if,
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve case number 25-18-DR with conditions as outlined in the staff report.
I'll second that.
thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Thank you. Next item up is case number 25-08-DR for the Valor Social Club, Phase 1. Troy?
Good evening, Commissioners. For the record, Troy B. Hunan, Senior Planner, CUNA Development Services Department. The application before you this evening is the beginning of what Mark Tate has been affectionately calling the fun stuff. This is design review approval request for the first two primary structures for the Valor Social Club, Phase 1. The first building will include a new golf pro shop and a cart barn, and the second structure will include fitness spaces, event spaces, food and beverage spaces, and indoor sport courts, as well as outdoor activities for many of the same things. The project is located near the northeast corner of South Cloverdale Road and CUNA Road. Staff's reviewed the proposed application for compliance with CUNA City Code and the design review code, and should the commission approve the design review, staff recommends the applicant be subject to the proposed recommended conditions that are outlined in staff's report. Mark Tate is here tonight, and he's ready to present, has a presentation, and I will be here for any questions you might have.
Thank you, Troy. Any
Yes.
questions for staff at this time? Okay. Mark, it's yours.
Good evening, Commissioners. Mark Tate, 1673 Shoreline Drive, Boise, Idaho, 83702. I didn't know I could just not show up and get approved, but I like you guys too much, and I wouldn't do that to you. I know you'd be sad to miss me. So as Troy mentioned, this is for the design review of the Valor Club. To give everybody some orientation on the project, we've got Cloverdale Road, CUNA Road. This is the Trilogy Valor community. This area here is the Reveille neighborhood, which is almost completely built out at this point. This area is the Medallion neighborhood, which is on its third phase. A lot of really nice golf course-oriented homes in here. And then a new community that's under development right now we're calling Tribute. That includes a K-12 charter school that I believe has come to you guys, the Valor Academy, which we're super excited about, along with a 10-acre city park adjacent to it that we're working with staff on right now on the design. So a lot of really fun stuff happening. If you haven't been out there recently to see the Trilogy, the club at Trilogy, it's called the Treasure Valley Club. They have a new restaurant open called the River 6 Restaurant. If you have not ate there, I would say shameless plug, go give it a try. It's actually super, super good. And I'm not just saying that because we're part owners of it. But yeah, it's really fun stuff going on right now, as Troy mentioned. This is a little bit more realistic aerial. It's a little bit dated at this point, but you've got the main entry road. The golf courses are existing. This is the existing access that we actually just repaved up to the club site, which is the site of the old pro shop, putting green, that sort of stuff. If you've been up there recently, you'll see almost all of what was there is demolished except for the 3 sequoia trees and large American flag, which we're super excited to integrate into the new design. We're running it out of a temporary pro shop over here as we get all the site work done. Speaking of site work, we've now paved a bunch of this cart path. We were able to do that after we extended all the utilities up into the area. So we've actually completed the sewer, the water, joint trench. A lot of the cart path, sidewalk work is starting, and repaving of this entry road and this first chunk of parking lot is underway as well. So we're making really good progress on the site work, getting ready to submit a building permit after this hearing. What you see here is 2 new putting areas. This is actually an 18-hole putting course that will have like scorecards and be pretty fun activity for the community. A putting green in this location. This is a bocce ball court, 2 outdoor courts, and in between there's like a seating area and a TV stand, which is part of what's in front of you tonight for design review. In addition to that, for outdoor amenities, we've got 6 pickleball courts and 2 outdoor tennis courts. Over here, it's hard to see at this scale, but on the rendering, we actually do show the American flag and the sequoias that are in this location here. This will be the new cart barn and pro shop as one building. And then this is kind of the fitness and social club over here. This is the old cart barn, so once the new cart barn's built over here, then this old cart barn gets torn down, and we'll expand the parking lot into that area. This is a rendering of the fitness and social club, so kind of starting on this side. We've got more of a pre-engineered metal building, still with architectural detailing similar to the club. What this is 2 indoor pickleball courts, 3 indoor golf simulators, a little bar area, tables, indoor TVs. We're just working on some design stuff with some really large format TVs. And so we'll be a really super active, fun space. As we move this way, we get into a fitness facility that will have free weights, gyms, a fitness room for motion classes, spinning, yoga, all those sorts of things. The main entry is on this corner, and I'll show you a different perspective. We've got an event room along with a restaurant in the middle with roll-up garage doors that will be able to serve the pool deck in the summertime, as well as be enclosed all year round. Restrooms specific to the swimming pool, along with a locker room specific to the fitness area. The cart barn is on the east side of this building, and and then the pro shop over here, there's our American flag. Give you an idea of where everything sits. And then in the middle here, you see this big grassy area. That is laid out for a future bar and grill restaurant that will come in later. We felt like two restaurants out of the gate's probably good for now. This is another view, the entry being over on this corner to the social club, in outdoor pickleball, fitness, indoor pickleball again. I'm going to bounce around a little bit and actually come back to these slides. Give you some renderings. So this is a rendering of the fitness facility, looking at this would be the east side elevation. So the entry is sort of cut off. I don't know why they didn't quite show the entry, but the entry is over here. This is an event room, and then a restaurant in this area, kind of in the middle. This is that bocce court that I talked to you about. Part of the design review package is this TV stand, so it'd actually be like an outdoor TV with hang space in front of it. So if you're just out there hanging out with some friends and want a place to sit down, or after your golf round or before it, be kind of a fun place to do that. This is looking into the restaurant area facing the pool. We have made a couple of tweaks since this rendering was done to pull out an awning a little bit further into the pool deck. This restaurant area faces west, so it gets the evening sun, and we said we need to pull out that a little bit further for shade. So didn't quite get the renderings updated by the time I submitted it, but that will be in the construction drawings. This is a covered ramada that's on the pool deck along with a diving board. You don't get to see a lot of like diving boards anymore for liability's sake, but we'll actually have lifeguards and that sort of thing. So got the diving well out there. And then this would be looking kind of from the bottom corner up towards this would be the fitness facility in that area. This is a little bit more detailed site plan where you can see the floor plans of the building that we just talked about here. Cart barn and pro shop. This does show the barn and grill restaurant, which is not part of this application. Going back to the materials. So as far as the styles of this, it's definitely a modern architecture. If you've been out to the Valor Club at Trilogy, which is known as the Treasure Valley Club, it's a very similar architecture, same architect, same design team, probably the same general contractor as well. We've got a really great group going out there. The style is kind of a modern barn, modern ranch architecture. So materials that you see are a lot of stones, metals, woods, or like a kind of a synthetic treated wood that make it look kind of distressed. And so that's primarily what you see for materials. The roofs are all metal roofing materials, so really nice high-end materials there. These different views, this side faces the pickleball courts. This is your view from the pool deck looking at that restaurant area. This would be from the pool deck looking to the north on there, so the south elevation looking north. This is the gym here. You can see it's got large glass windows overlooking the pool deck, kind of a breezeway in between to the pickleball, golf simulator, fun zone. I think that's where I'd go hang out most of the time. Over here, we've got the cart barn. We did use more of a modern barn architecture, which is very fitting for a cart barn. This is the pro shop over here in the corner, and then there's a big walkway that'll service the pro shop, parking area in front of it for golf carts, and then the putting greens are out in front of this pro shop area. This would be the back side of the cart barn, and the pro shop here. And this would be the side. It's kind of an L shape on this corner, and actually those big sequoia trees will be, the building kind of wraps those trees, so it'd be really cool to have the windows opening up to those trees and have it really integrated into the design out there. This is the Ramada structure that's on the pool.
Chairman,
TV
that
structure.
was time, so if you can either allow him time to wrap up his presentation, or we can just answer any questions you have.
I'm about done, this is it, and then garbage enclosures.
Is commission okay in giving him a couple more minutes? Sure. Go ahead, Mark.
Okay. So yeah, TV stand that you looked at next to the bocce ball courts, we did include, because it is a structure, this is kind of a trellis delineating an area between the pool and a spa hot tub area. Ramada on the pool deck for shade, and then this is the garbage enclosures out in the parking lot. So I believe that is all encompassing. Might have a couple pictures. Yep, I think that's it. Any questions?
Thank you. Any questions for the applicant? Nope, not at this time.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you. So again, that's a design review, so it just goes to our deliberation. I think they've done some extensive renderings and what to expect, and the design looks good. I don't see any issues with it. I think it's a very nice looking area that could be very generic otherwise, as we've seen in a lot of smaller golf courses where the cart barn becomes a barn, you know, some stuff. So I appreciate the fact that they've done some nice landscaping. They've laid it out well. They've thought about the amenities. I think it's a beautiful facility.
Yeah, it's an overall nice project from start to finish. They've done a good job with it.
Yeah, I mean, when we started some of this stuff early on, we were kind of looking to see how it would come out. And as I drive by every day along that road, it's surprised how well it's kept, and it's looking really good. It's a good representation of our city, I feel. Nice project.
Agreed.
Any other questions or concerns? If not, I would stand for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve case number 25-08-DR with conditions as outlined in the staff report.
Seconded?
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Nope. Thank you. And with that, we will return to a couple small issues to bring up under business. So first would be case number 25-12-DR for Mobetas. Don't know who wants to.
Marina Lundy, Planner, Community Development Services Department. The applicant for the Mobetas application has resubmitted a site plan that hopefully meets the requirements as conditioned in the last commission meeting for the internal drive. I think it's at the bottom of this. It's attached.
Yeah, it's at the bottom of case, item 4 in the packet.
Is the new one the one that's in the packet, the revised one?
The
Yes.
latest revision is in the packet. And we're bringing this back to business items to propose a small change.
Okay, I was not at that last hearing, so I will kind of let you guys review that.
So we discussed with the applicant briefly this evening. Quick discussion. So brief history on this, Dana, Mr. Chairman. The previous site plan, we just felt was creating a traffic conflict between the drive-through of the Take 5 and the drive-through action on the Mobetas restaurant. Applicant has gone back, revised the site plan to provide a better traffic flow. Our concern up front with the current site plan is the fact that we're flip-flopping traffic. Northbound traffic is on the left side of the road. The proposal is to flip the direction of the traffic for the Take 5 so that we only have northbound traffic. And then the exit from the Take 5 would be more westbound.
Seems like a good solution.
So
And you said the applicant's okay with this?
he is here if we want to ask him directly.
I assume that must be you. You're the only one left. If you would come up to the podium real quick and state your name and address for the record.
Chad Jones, 1119 East State Street, Eagle, Idaho, representing ALC Architecture. Yes, we did have a conversation ahead of this meeting tonight, and we're fine with doing a 180 flip and doing that. You know, our initial concern was stacking of patrons coming in, but I think it's going to work just fine if we do that.
Okay, I think that makes a little more sense and be a little safer, so appreciate you working with us on that one.
Yeah, thank you, Chad. So, yeah, I think with that, if you're cool with it.
Yeah, with that, I would stand for, I guess, a motion.
And we'll have
that
to
would
make two
include that.
motions
Okay.
for both facilities, so.
Are you really changing anything on the Mobetas? It would just be really regarding the other, isn't it?
Well, since we woke both back up, I think we have to make a motion on both.
Okay, I'll leave that to you.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. All right, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve case number 25-12-DR for the Mobetas.
Commissioner Clark,
Yes.
for the record, Doug Hanson, Planning and Zoning Director, we need to be specific that we're approving the decision and reason statement for case number 25-12-DR.
Very good. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the condition, or the decision and reason statement for case number 25-12-DR for Mobetas.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the decision and reason statement for case number 25-13-DR for the Take 5 oil change as amended by our current discussion.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Nope. Thank you. The motion passes, and I appreciate the work with us on that. With that, I don't see anything further on the agenda. Is there any other items or discussions or reports from staff?
That's it for this evening.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No, okay. Thank you. Good night.